And we start then with the turmoil in Washington. Kevin McCarthy is out as Speaker of the House of Representatives. It is the first time in US history a Speaker has been forced from his job in a no-confidence vote. He was ousted by hard-right members of his own Republican Party. And for the moment, there is no clear successor, setting up days, if not weeks, of uncertainty in US politics. Well, on the line for us now is our Washington correspondent, Fraser Jackson, for a bit more on this. Fraser, a day after McCarthy's dramatic ousting, give us a sense what the atmosphere is like today in Washington.
Well, there's a real political hangover, I think it's fair to say, here in Washington, and sleeping it off certainly didn't help. Now, I'm told that 200 Republicans, the people who sided with Kevin McCarthy during that ousting vote, are furious at that far-right fragment of their caucus that basically voted out the head of their party, at least in the House. Now, there are whisperings that people are trying to kick out Matt Gaetz, who is the main instigator, the man who tabled that motion in the first place. However, that might be more easy said than done because they need his vote. At the end of the day, whoever will take over from Kevin McCarthy needs 218 votes to become Speaker. And quite frankly, the math doesn't add up at the moment. Now, I'm also told that in the Senate, this has become quite a subject of debate as well. NBC News today were reporting that Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, he's the man who ran with Hillary Clinton on his ticket as vice president, said, Lindsey, you know, you don't have to be a member of the House of Representatives to be Speaker. But then Lindsey Graham shut him down saying, yes, but you've got to be sane. And I'm sane enough to say no. So that gives you some indication of how people are feeling about it on the Hill. Well, for the White House, however, they're trying to project an image of business as usual. Biden saying that he will work with whoever the Republicans end up voting for. Their main focus is trying to keep the government open and to avoid a shutdown on November 17th, and of course trying to secure that critical Ukraine aid, which was left out of the stopgap funding bill just a few days ago.
And Fraser, as I mentioned, there is no successor waiting in the wings to replace Kevin McCarthy. So walk us through what's likely to happen now.
Well, now, obviously, the Republicans are focusing on trying to find a successor to Kevin McCarthy. We have just heard within the last short while that Jim Jordan, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, has officially put forward his name to stand for the speakership. He's also on the House Oversight Committee. However, the favourite, has to be said, is probably Steve Scalise. He's the majority leader of the Republicans in the House. However, he has had some health issues. He's overcoming blood cancer at the moment. He's going through chemotherapy for that. So whether he will, be able to have such a high impactful job is obviously a decision he'll have to make for himself as to whether he runs. Tom Emmer was somebody who Democrats would quite like, I'm sure, to have as Speaker. He's been quite pro-Ukraine and pro-Ukrainian aid in the last few weeks. However, earlier last night he did put his weight behind Steve Scalise, so that's looking like a non-starter. Now, whoever takes over from Kevin McCarthy at the end of the day is going to have the same problem that Kevin McCarthy faced. It's a bit of a poison chalice, this job. Do you behold yourself to the far right of the party and trying to stick together a fractured Republican conference, or do you reach across the aisle to try and get your bidding done? It is a question that Kevin McCarthy definitely struggled with during his speakership.
Fraser Jackson for us there in Washington. Thank you very much.